Well, good morning, gentlemen. We are doing a rewatch here. Gotta slow things just a little bit. We got a little bit. There. So you get it right. Go with, I wanted it to, and we'll speed up in a minute. So, we see we're at 42 minutes here. The teams are in the north. We have Alex, Joel, Larry, and who is this? Orange is Spencer. So Spencer is the Turks, Larry is the Ethiopians, Alex is the Chinese, getting weird, and Joel is the Spanish. When we look at their economies, Larry has 247 villagers / gold units. Alex has 130. Spencer has 280. He's almost got no pop room for military. And then, of course, Joel has 170. On the other side, Travis has 230. Austin has 205. Jake has 206, and I have 208. When we look at our numbers throughout, Jake has a ton on wood. I have a ton on gold. Austin has a ton on wood. And Travis has a ton on wood and gold as well, whereas Joel's fairly spread out, low on gold, but you know, that can always change. His wood is, Spencer's wood is super high, his gold is super high. Alex has, looks like mostly food right now, but he's still booming. And Larry has a ton on gold. We're going to pick up the speed just a little bit. Our initial cutting fronts, as we see here, we've got stuff is getting walled off on both sides. You look at both walls here. Both teams seem to be walling. Mine's not finished yet. We've got about 30 seconds left. And their wall isn't finished quite as well. I don't understand this super far forward wall. Like, for me, it's a big headache when I play. I'd rather a wall be back right here, or like right in front of there. You know, leave me some space to build military buildings. Because otherwise, this wall, the guy's gonna just open up, and people are gonna be able to just shoot into that. So you can't close it. Over here. I think I'll be able to enjoy this a little bit more from this angle. So, we see that Larry has shown up. I'm sending in camels. Larry's sending in camels as well. I think Larry's decided to start throwing camels in because his troop mix with the Ethiopians. We see a ton of Spencer over here. On the other side, Travis is getting ready to cut in. So we see this over here. I guess, and this is why we like capture ages, because I can zoom out a little bit more. But as we see, there's just tons of bombard cannons. Our troops are just running into a wall here. Just crazy. On the other side, Travis has cut in and is going. Travis is the Vikings. DJ Golden X. I'm going to turn on military view so I can see what military units are going on. They have me pulled up. I want to see Alex. Alex is getting hit the most. So Alex is 55, 47, 18. He needs more gold, but other than that, he's going. Fighting for his life. Look in the middle. Austin is holding on for dear life. Jake is shown up. And it's just a bloodbath over here. So many troops are slinging. And Travis is trying to like cut down the edge. This makes sense. I like this move that Alex is starting to do. And Joel and Alex are both fighting together now. So we've got Spencer up here, along with his Columbine cannons and BBCs. And Jake is like, I'm tired of this chicken crap. And so he's cutting in. They're aware of it and prepping accordingly. Meanwhile, I haven't swung troops over here yet. But Travis is trying to bring up siege trams up against all these dudes that are just gonna get eaten. Meanwhile, here in the middle, we're just throwing units. Larry's got some trebs going. Austin just keeps on holding like bam. So it's kind of me and Austin over here in the middle, but Travis is starting to lose on this side. And just got crazy. Mr. Viking Man. Mr. Viking Man. I don't know if he'd rather just go to Goths, but you know, I'm sure that there's a rhyme behind his reason. I just didn't understand it. So Alex hasn't built enough houses. He's getting pop capped, which is not ideal. And I'm sending troops to help Travis right now. Sending Travis is like, guys, I'm losing. Guys, I'm losing. I'm like, I'm coming, Travis. Meanwhile, Larry starts just coming in strong over here. And that's a lot of bombard cannons. Over here on the other side, we see Jake is coming up. The Turks really do strong counter the Teutons quite well. Although this should be a good plunge for Jake. There you go. Spencer trying to build a wall. He's like, crap, we gotta cut this. Don't you know that Jake is the king of the cut? Meanwhile, on the other side, we see some scary stuff going on here. Alex has just really pushed forward with his units. And they have just double walled in and just, you know, this is the sort of thing that makes Austin proud. And there's so many towers. It's ridiculous. Travis is trying to build another castle. He got it up. On the other side, we see that Spencer has turned. Austin and myself are fighting Larry. Which means that Travis is going to get... this is going to be a bad overrun here in a second, is my bet. Travis building forward military buildings. He likes to do that. One of his tactics is, let me take these villagers and put them forward. And I've swung over to Spencer's side with these guys. And Larry's like, oh no guys, we need stuff over there, ASAP, go! And they're putting in a second layered wall. Of course they're building a second layered wall. Hose. This is just like such great defense on the enemy team's side. And we see that Alex and Joel have shown up over here. Larry and Travis trying to hold, but Travis is screaming here pretty soon. And we're taking these things out. I need to just take these dudes and just put them in this corner and just have them attack this forever, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. And my military is coming to save Travis. But Travis is very scared at this moment. We're gonna actually put it on Travis because he's gonna get hit. So he's at 104. Holy rich, man. Holy Batman. With that many resources, we gotta... Holy cow. Gotta get that pop-up. And I swing back to this side to help Travis. Travis is hanging on by threads. We see that Alex is cutting in over here. And Travis is trying to house off more with houses. Good for him. Meanwhile, we haven't looked at the middle here. Austin has pushed Larry back. Austin's actually slinging troops into this death zone. This is literally the death zone. Meanwhile, trying to save Travis. Travis is trying to build. He's building out of all of these. Building a bunch of dudes. And Alex is building the right units. Alex gets in, and Alex is into Travis now. Going nuts. I'm just glad he hit Travis, not me. Travis is much better at rebuilding. So they get into Travis at this point. Which actually opens things up on this side and allows us to cut off their hand. Darn, Alex is killing my... I was trying to build a castle over here. But Alex has these dudes in, boom, and that looks like that's about it. But they're slinging troops. Meanwhile, Jake has been struggling with this over here. He just keeps throwing units at it and dying, and throwing units at it and dying. I've come along to, and we've kind of slowed the bleeding over here. You know, we've stopped the tide, but but Jake is just sending so many troops to their death. Meanwhile, Austin is doing the classic siege rams against the towers. It's a good move. It's probably his best bet at this point. Whereas these units are fighting for their lives. It's an open shot, so you'll see I'm just shooting troops up into Alex. Which this is the sort of thing that would drive Austin nuts, is that they just left it open like that, and so we were able to shoot into Alex and get troops in. Because now I got troops in. What's this gonna do to Alex? It's like boom, 3949. So everything's still healthy. Boom. We did hit that little pocket. And now I'm onto this pocket. Boom. Meanwhile, Travis is holding on the other side. Jake and I have... So I've started throwing some troops over here as well. And so is Jake. Jake's cutting in. What we ought to do is get some siege rams or some onagers and just cut through here. In the middle, Larry and Austin have... It's kind of like there's just no man zone that no one can do anything in. Meanwhile, I still have troops in Alex's base. Alex is down to 20 farmers. And we're starting to kind of turn, but you can see they're digging in so well with all of these towers are just really hard to get past. And Joel's building the Conquistador, which should really stop Travis. At least that's the theory behind it. On the other side, Larry has fairly established a front over here. It's always a thing of beauty watching Larry play. And it's really incredible how well Austin did against him. Because these are heavy odds in favor of Lars over Austin. On the other side, we're doing it. Looks like I've plunged in again. This time, Alex is building a town center. And they've got troops back here to kind of slow the bleeding. Is this their main trade? It's at least Alex's trade, but we see that Joel and Spencer and Larry are back here. So I'm really just hurting Alex and his trade. And his trade's very intact. That's his best thing is his trade. On the other side, Austin is just playing full goth. And Jake is trying his darndest to come in. We see that they're building these towers to slow us down. Ethan would be so proud of this game. I hope that he watches this. I'm trying to figure out, like, where are these guys coming from? And then I see this gate, and I'm like, oh, dang it. On the other side, it's pretty much a stalemate. We're pretty much at 3 stalemate fronts right now. And Spencer is holding. Why the Janissary over the hand cannon? What's the advantage? I don't fully know. Gonna take out some BBCs. Absolutely crazy game. Those dudes are coming from over here. Oh. And we got some battering rams. I'm not sure what battering rams are about. We hoping to get them up into here, I guess. Ah yes, Jake cuts in to take out some of these, which is actually really big because it allows me to put troops to go around down in here a lot more effectively. Meanwhile, I plunge again on Alex, trying to knock him out of the game, but it's not really happening. I'm bringing forward some trebuchets. And this is when this side starts to really crumble a lot more. But it's actually not where the game is lost, which will happen in a minute or two. We see that Larry is moving forward. Spencer has claimed this side. Ah yes, the Rams. They're coming. Kind of excited to see what happens with the Rams. Hopefully we don't miss it. And Larry's strong flexing in the middle. I've left Travis to win this side. It's kind of the Travis, you win. I will let you be. Which then we see that that's what happens. We all meet here in the middle. We've got Larry taking on me and Austin, and Jake is moving forward. And they've got trade. Alex has trade going through the front. I don't know what that's all about. And now they've walled this off. Like, F these guys. But Alex is still cooking. Larry's building another castle. The price of stone at this point was very high. Joel is not happy with what's happening over here. Let's see what's going on with Larry's econ. So Larry's spending it as fast as he can get it. That's what's going on. Let's pull up Spencer. Spencer as well is spending it as fast as he can get it. Everyone's sitting on gold. Down here in the south, Joel is holding on for dear. Joel has just plugged the crap out of this hole. Alex is rebuilding this side here. He's not like that they can swing over that way. He wants us funneled this way. But Travis is like, oh, that's no problem. Meanwhile, Jake has lost some units. Holy cow, all of these bombarding towers are just so clutch because they slow down everything. They're insane. Larry's throwing out the Shotel Warriors. One of the funner units in the game, if you ask me. Just a great time. I wish I could flip the orientation so I could like, twist my ankles. So Travis has kind of turned. We see that they've pushed him back. I'm trying to help Jake out. Meanwhile, Austin is still just... This 1v1 with Larry is insane. Let me just full goth, only with every troop on Earth, and see what happens. My name is Austin Vansquick. Jake is like, I'm going left, which is a good move. It's less protected. And Larry can't help out as much, although he's going to help out right here. Here in the south, I've turned to help Travis again, and we've pushed them forward. Alex is walled and walled and walled and walled and walled and walled, and Alex is doing a really good Austin impression. We see that style of walling from Austin more than Alex, but it's very effective when utilized. It's impressive. I wonder if Jake had been building paladins over here, how that would have changed things. Meanwhile, here in the middle, Austin has shown up. And man, they hold this wall so effectively. The other side, they have a hole. And immediately, Jake and I just zoom to it. Because we want into Spencer. Boom. Going in. Yep. And I plunge all of my troops through this little hole, and so does Jake. And so Spencer gets flooded by troops. We have Austin in here, I'm in here, Jake's in the trade. He's here. We're just swooping through Spencer as fast as we can. And they're trying to hold that. But there's another hole. And the Trebs have started to eat the wall. Double walled. Just a matter of crazy gamesmanship. And Spencer gave up the ghost. And so did Larry. I believe all players gave up the ghost here shortly. But crazy game. Talk about supreme defensive placements and great offense, but at the end of the day, I don't even know. It's offense beat defense, I guess, but it was a crazy game. Shout out especially to Alex with the quadruple walling. Same applies over here. Larry, if we look at scores, let's look at these. Larry and Spencer definitely carried, which is funny because their side was the side that fell. When we look at scores, they definitely had higher scores than us. But didn't matter. Larry with the high military score at almost 80,000 points. Holy cow. Joel with the best economy, best technology, and best society. Joel, well done, sir. Jake and I tied with most raised buildings. Larry with the most killed. Obviously, Travis with the most lost. Travis basically was doing a 2v1 the whole game with spurts of help from me. So shout out to Travis for holding. But also Austin going up against Larry was really impressive. When we look at economies, Jake had the most wood and stone. Travis had the most food. Spencer had the most trade profit. It was a good game. Can't wait for our next one. Well, boys, I think that is basically it. Oh, right. Jake had the fastest castle. Congratulations, Jake. Travis had the fastest Imperial by a long, well, not by a long shot, because Larry's right with him. But other than those two, it was by a long shot. But GG, boys. Look at these consistent lines. It's like everybody stayed basically the same for until the very end. GG. Until next time, Captain Fireman out.